Although the castle had an important role in defending Portsmouth, it often only had a small garrison in peacetime. The original Tudor garrison was 22 men. The commander of the castle, a porter, 12 gunners and 8 soldiers. In time of war, local militia would have assisted the garrison. The garrison was not necessarily well paid. In 1734, a local man wrote about the castle that in times of danger there is, or should be, a governor and a competent number of soldiers, but for many years past it has been kept by an old sergeant and 3 or 4 men who sell cakes and ale. But Southsea Castle was not only the home for the soldiers of the garrison, their families also sometimes lived here. In 1759, the garrison's families were involved in a serious accident. Sparks from a cooking fire fell through the floorboards onto the barrels of gunpowder that were stored beneath. The 17 people killed in the resulting explosion included women and children, as well as soldiers. In 1941, Betty Pryor of the ATS, Auxiliary Territorial Service, was stationed at the castle. Her sleeping quarters were in the basement of the castle keep with 9 other women. She later recalled that time. It was cold and wet and horrible. The only things in the room were our beds and what is known as a barrack box with our personal belongings in, and a big black stove and nothing else. When we put the shovel into the bin for the coal, the mice used to come out and we used to chase them with the shovel. Not everyone living at the castle was directly connected with the military. The lighthouse was built in the 1820s. The lighthouse keeper and his family lived in rooms by the castle entrance. Harry Whitman became lighthouse keeper in 1912 after 27 years in the Royal Navy and moved to the castle with his family. In March 1913, his daughter Molly fell ill with diphtheria and scarlet fever and died. The rooms at the castle were declared unsafe and the family moved out. Harry retired in 1927. Today the lighthouse still works, but it is unmanned. This is one of the old optics from the castle lighthouse. The central lens and surrounding prisms are designed to focus the light into a single powerful beam. One of the grimmer uses of Southsea Castle was as a military prison during the years 1844 to 1850. In 1844, the castle was systematically converted into a prison for soldiers able to hold 150 inmates. 4 years later, a request was made to add space for another 16 prisoners, so the prison seems to have often been full. In the 19th century, army discipline was harsh. Flogging was a common punishment. The soldier would be tied to a frame and hit across the back with a cat o' nine tails, a leather whip with 9 knotted lashes. Flogging was done by and in front of a soldier's comrades, as an example to them all. In 1847, the death of a soldier who had received 150 lashes led to a normal maximum limit of 50 lashes. Imprisonment was increasingly used as an alternative punishment to flogging. In 1850, the prison was transferred to Forton in Gosport, much to the relief of local residents. Throughout its use as a prison, Southsea Castle had continued in its role as a fully armed fortress. All this history has made Southsea Castle one of Portsmouth's most historic and atmospheric buildings.